course, live it is. Thank you so much for joining us on another edition of the program. We sincerely apologize for starting the program behind the scheduled time. Yes, we are here, and of course, the fun and the interaction, must, now begin and of course continue. Glad to have you join us on another edition of the program, Focus Live. It's a no-holds-barred discussion program where we get to look at different issues affecting us in society. We bear our minds without holding back, and of course, regardless of who solves it or is not. Today we are looking at yet another issue that is staring us in the face, and that is the issue of insecurity. Insecurity, of course, have a wave of insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, killing, and the rest of them. And quite a number of persons are clamoring that state police is actually the way to go, as a matter of fact, in solving these vast security challenges that we are experiencing in the country. Even the president at some point said that the financial framework are actually in place to actually bring about state policing. Even though some persons believe state policing may not actually solve the problem. I mean that if we explore extensively the current structure of policing that we are practicing, we will be able to get the best out of it. But we are not able to get the best out of this current process, largely because we have not been able to extensively exploit as a matter of fact. But that's what we are going to be looking at, how we can actually tackle insecurity headlong. And of course, the topic is Amotekun expansion at Nigeria's pathway to state policing. And we have joining us in this conversation the corps commander of Amotekun in Ogun State, Brigadier General Alade Adediba, retired. It's a pleasure having you join the conversation.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me too.
Yes. So let us really begin by looking at the arguments, the back and forth. While some persons believe state policing is actually the preferred way to go to really resolve the myriad of security challenges in the country, others say no. The same human elements that we have in the current structure of policing in the country that have not made the policing to be effective, these are the same people that will come into the state policing structure, and so it may still actually frustrate state policing from actually working. So what's your thoughts really? Do you think the present structure of policing is deficient and that state policing is actually the preferred way to go?
Thank you very much for having me once again. When you talk about state policing, what we're actually saying is taking policing to the grassroots. It's not about the fact that the federal system of policing is deficient, but just a way of reinforcing what we have now, so that at the grassroots, everybody will have a role to play in policing the community. And let me tell you, what we are practicing right now, by having Amotekun and other security agencies, it's a form of state policing. The subnational intervention in securing their respective states and local governments is a way of state policing. So it's just a matter of formalizing it. Right now, don't forget that the Southwestern government actually have Amotekun ground for close to 6 years.
Yes.
What is that supposed to mean? It means the subnationals, I'm talking about the state government, the local government, having a say in how the community, the environment is being secured. That's basically what state policy is all about. So, but now that the federal government is seeking the National Assembly to amend the section 214 of the Constitution, it's a way of removing the federal policing from the exclusive list to concurrent list, so that the state too can have a say. Okay. And in this case, we are not going to have a federal police system and we're going to have a state police system. Basically, that's what it's all about.
Okay, so what will be the implication of that? How will that change the operations of Amotekun core and yes, because according to you, and rightly so, what we have, the Amotekun core that we have is a form of state policing, as a matter of fact. So if the law is now made and then policing is moved away from exclusive to concurrent list, how will that now affect the operations of the Amotekun core?
Thank you very much. What that simply means now, there's going to be a legislative backing. There will be a constitutional backing at the federal level to ensure that this is now a legal entity. In that case, the federal government will come up with the structure. We talk about structural framework, policy framework, and all that. So that in all the 36 states, including FCT, they now have a formal way of operation. As again, what is happening in the southwest is different from what is going on in the south or north central. But there will be a uniformity. There will be a uniform way of, in terms of equipment, in terms of manpower, in terms of weapons handling and all that, in terms of training. So it's just going to be a well-structured outfit that will now interface with what we have at the federal level, that will now enhance security efforts at the lowest level.
Maybe I should have even asked what the current arrangement, the legal backing that you don't have at the moment, how is that hindering the effectiveness of your core?
Now, there's what we call legal backing. The Amotekun core law is there, across the southwestern states. Yes. But what I'm not saying that it's no longer going to be. It will no longer be a matter of southwest, south. It's going to be federal. It will be national. We're not talking about two-tier, architecture of federal policing. You now have the federal policing service. You now have the state policing service. With each having its area of, jurisdiction, as in what are the cases that the federal police system.
Are you saying you are not in any way, hindered or limited in terms of your operations, Amotekun core, in terms of your effectiveness?
You see,
by the current arrangement.
You agree with me that in the last 5 years, the Amotekun core across the southwestern states have been doing exceedingly well. There has been a robust relationship, collaboration, and interaction between the Amotekun core and the federal security agencies. And Ogun State is a very good example. Now, but however, if you now have a federal law that is backing what is on ground, it means, our performance will be more enhanced. Okay. It will be more effective. And there will not be anything like, no, this is peculiar to a particular region, or that's just there. The operation will not be seamless. As again, the fact that maybe when you are operating, you believe, this federal agency may come and kind of hinder your performance. Everybody now knows where to go, where not to go. You know your area of limitation and all that. What are the laws that the state policing are going to handle? What are those? What are those cases or crimes that the state police will handle? What are those that are federal in nature? So when you do that, everybody knows in bounds where the do's and don'ts. So it makes it seamless. I will now have a better and enhanced, security situation across the entire nation. That's what it means.
Now, so some persons actually have the opinion that the fact that Amotekun core does not carry sophisticated weapons, that it's a limitation in their operations. As a matter of fact, do you see? Have you encountered such? Such situations whereby the inability of your personnel to be allowed to carry sophisticated weapons actually, limited them in performing their duty.
When you talk about sophisticated weapons, the issue is this. When you talk about security could be proactive and could be reactive. What Amotekun, basically what we do is we are proactive.
Okay.
Let me tell you in Ogun State.
Like intelligence gathering?
We have 20, of course, yes. We have 20 local governments. And each of the local governments has minimum of 3 outposts. So if you multiply 3 minimum, I say 3. So 3 times 20. That's 60. It means we have 60 outposts across the state. When you now add the 20 local governments, we are talking about 80. And we have some at the state headquarters. So if you now have this post spread across the 20 local governments, what I'm talking about, it means before there's an issue, do you understand? We react. That kind of a thing. And of course, issue of intelligence gathering, very key. So we have, our intelligence, elements that go around, and even the inhabitants, the locals, we have a good relationship with the faith-based organizations. You understand? We have with all the CSOs, the landlords, the youths, and various leaders, in all the local government. So we interact with them. So before when there's an issue, they run to the Amotekun post, and they make, but they realize they run after 5-10 minutes, we react, and the problem is solved. So when you do that, you don't even need any sophisticated weapon, except in exceptional cases. And so far, the police are there, the army are there, and other federal agencies, and we work collaboratively. So for now, we are good. But it's only, I'm only saying that if we are able to, if that law is passed, naturally the federal government will come up with, structures in place, policies, do you understand, in place that will assist in ensuring that is seamless relationship, which will, give backing to a robust performance, basically.
So in a way, at the moment, the Amotekun Corps is positioned more to as an intelligence gathering agency or body.
You see,
more preventive.
The structure, that is that, but the structure of Amotekun, like I said, is actually to provide information, intelligence, assist as necessary, you understand, for other federal agencies to perform. We make arrests where necessary, we hand over to the appropriate agency. When we get information, we process it. This is what we can handle. When we cannot handle, we pass to the relevant agency to handle. For example, issue of vandalism. You understand? When you get that, there's an agency of government that is created to handle that. So look at the issue of maybe child trafficking. There's an agency that is supposed to handle that. So when we get all this, we don't go out of our way to do another person's job, but we do what is necessary by way of intelligence, by way of information, and we give that to the appropriate agency, and the problem is solved. No, the issue is not about who does what. It's about there's a problem, and it's about the problem is solved. Whether it is the Amotekun, whether it's another agency, that is not the issue. Nobody is competing with nobody. But the idea is to keep our state and the country very safe.
Also talk to us about your relationship with other security agencies, let's say sister security agencies. How has the relationship been like? How cordial really?
I've said that several times. Ogun State is a very good example that anybody can come and learn exactly what we do here.
Like a model.
We have a very robust relationship. I've been here for over a year and a half now, and for months we've never had any issue, any confrontation with any other, service, any other agency. For example, just this Saturday, the Middle Past Commissioner of Police, who is now AIG, we did a center for him. A week before, we did another one for the director of the DSS. So why are we doing that? It's because we are a family. We meet at least minimum of once every month to exchange ideas, to treat issues, and to relate together. Here in Ogun State, very good model. It's about solving the problem, not about who solves the problem.
Now, let's take a look at the acceptability that your agency, has enjoyed. I mean, when I talk about acceptability, I mean, at some point there is this belief that people in the Southwest actually discourage their children, from joining security agencies, like the army, the police, and that's why you have people more from the north, and then sometimes from other regions, going there. Now we have Amotekun Core, a state security network. I mean, that is supposed to, at the grassroots, I mean, according to what you have said, get necessary information, provide this information with to other security agencies, and then make necessary arrests when necessary. Have you had increase in number of people who have shown interest in being part of the security network?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Let me foremost appreciate His Excellency the First Governor of Ogun State, President Amotekun, for the massive support that the agency has enjoyed and is still enjoying. Why do I say that? In the last 1 year, we've had 2 massive recruitments. The first one was about 750 recruitments, the other one another 1,000. And right now, we have just concluded the online registration of another 1,000 individuals. That is no joke. To have 1,000 strength in an agency that are being paid minimum wages of the state civil service, they are being kitted 2 pairs of uniform, pay salary as at when due, you understand, with all the allowances. Also, in the last 1 year thereabout, we've got over 75 operational vehicles. It's not about having the vehicles alone, how about the issue of services, maintenance, fueling. That is logistics. On monthly basis, it is huge. So a government that is not allowed to respond, that is not ready to support security, will not, vote that much into security. And that is what is happening in this state. So His Excellency, we are very grateful. And I just told you that another 1,000 has just been, approved. Don't forget, we are going to sew 2 pairs of uniform for those 1,000. You know the cost implication. We are going to trade there for 3 weeks at the training camp. I know they'll be fed 3 square meals. You know what that means? So what am I saying in essence is that the government is actually doing the utmost best in ensuring that the state is safe.
Training for 3 weeks. I mean, some persons will say, that's not NYC orientation camp. I mean, if considering the kind of security challenges that we are bedeviled with in the nation, that the nation is bedeviled with, I mean, one would expect more, intensive training, and so that by the time these people come out, they will be able to, handle the situation.
Now, when you say 3 weeks training, that is not the end of it. Now, what is called basic training, initial training, you have continuous training, you have on-the-job training, you understand? You have, quarterly training. What I'm just saying, that is the initial.
Okay.
So from there, we are not going to sort, the individuals out. Who is good in intelligence, aspects. Now look at their strength. You understand? This one is good enough for your intelligence. That person will go on for further training. This one is good in terms of policing and all that and all that. But that is just the initial. The point I'm trying to say earlier was that when you count people, say 1,000 people in one location, and you feed them breakfast, lunch, dinner for 3 weeks.
So much is involved.
That is what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying the government that expend that on its people just to get this state secure. It's a very serious government, and that is what is happening in our state. That is just what I'm trying to say.
No doubt. Now, let us also look at another realm, and it is the realm of technology. I mean, in this age and time, any security outfit or network that does not prioritize technology, in his approach to combating insecurity, I mean, cannot be regarded as top-notch, really. I mean, because whether we like it or not, the world is gradually or has almost become digital, and we know how important technology is, in human endeavors, particularly the role it can play in helping us to combat insecurity. So, how much of technology, is Amotekun actually incorporating into its operations?
Yeah, thank you very much. About a month and a half ago, Amotekun, commissioned the secretary to the state government on behalf of the state government, commissioned the Amotekun CCTV control room.
True.
And so that is to let you know that we are not leaving technology out of what we do. And from our control center, we can monitor 247 in real time what happened in some of our local governments as I'm talking to you now. And immediately after that, the representative of the governor too, promised that other local governments will be covered. So we are scaling up. But that was just, for the first time. Let's try it and see. And we are getting the results. For example, if you take Old Toll Gate, which is one of those centers that has been monitored, for you to get from Amotekun, which is where you have the quarter of Amotekun, to Ogere, it will take a minimum of, say, 45-50 minutes. So if there is a problem there, how do you react? Those individual operatives on ground, they don't know what is going on in a particular situation if they are not there. But once we monitor this 247, with the radio communication, it's very easy. You just call the guys on ground, go to social location, so is happening. Less than 2-3 minutes, they react, and they will solve the problem. So that is what we are enjoying with the aid of technology. And we have that, in about 5 or 6 locations I'm talking to you now. And of course, the President has given approval again for us to extend even to our border local governments and other volatile areas until we are able to cover the entire state. Ongoing, and we are not joking with it at all.
Okay, so let's go back to the recruitment exercise. That you talked about. 700 recruited. At some point, you also had 1,000, and then you are having another batch of 1,000. Let's take a look at how much of due diligence you actually put into recruiting these personnel. We know that yes, their work is to come and secure this. Our community, the state, as a matter of fact, or their various communities, and we know that people like that must actually be above. They must possess some qualities, as a matter of fact. So, how much of due diligence does your network actually put into this recruitment to ensure that these people are not individuals of a questionable character? You take away the shaft from the wheat, among them, and then ensure that the people of high moral standards, who have skill, who have immunity, as we might actually put it, are employed, are brought into the network.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. We are not taking that for granted. We do background check on everybody that we bring, on board. But whether you like it or not, the initial registration is online, and everybody is free to apply. But after that, we do screening. Assuming, for example, we are looking for 1,000 and about 7,000 applied. We do initial screening. Then we go around the 20 local governments to ensure that we interface physically with these individuals. More so, in our forms, there is a column for ward leader. When I mean ward, I'm not talking about political leaders now. I'm talking about those who know those individuals, to their homes. Because the condition by the excellence is that every ward must be represented, so nobody will feel cheated. Do you understand? So there's a column for the ward leader to say, no, this is from this ward. I know this person to be of good character. There's a column for the baile or the local chief, to sign. There's a column for the secretary to the local government and the chairman of the local government. So what this means is that if these individuals, can tell us that this person is good to go, then it means that person must be of, a good character. That is from that perspective. The another perspective is that we too carry our own intelligence, whatever. We have to ensure that we don't have bad eggs or bad eggs are not being recruited. And from time to time, we have this, interaction, education with the people that look. We are not going to bring somebody from a local government to come and, kind of secure you in the local government. It is those from the local government that will secure those in the local government. So if you bring your bad elements, it means they are coming to become the problems to you. And in that case, we are not going to blame the Amotekun leadership. I don't know whether you understand. So that means those individuals, those people from that local government, they have a say, they have a hand in who is being brought on board from their local government. So we are not joking with that. And that is why, to some extent, to the glory of God, we've had little or no disciplinary cases or issue of bribery, issue of among our personnel. And even that is one thing I'm very happy with. More so, in our selection process, we have elements of all the federal security agencies as part of the selection team. Yeah. So it's not about Amotekun commander sitting down somewhere and just point to somebody to come and no. We have a constituted team from the military, from the police, from civil defense, from DSS, that are the ones that will interact with them, ask them questions, and raise observations. So these are due diligence that we have tried to put in place so that we have a very seamless and an agency we can be proud of. Thank you.
Let's take a look at motivation, really. Motivation, because whether we like it or not, that's also a very important aspect. I mean, for workers or for security personnel, motivation and the welfare, of this personnel. I mean, are they properly motivated? Because it tells us again, if you do due diligence, in your selection and your recruitment process, and then they get in, as a matter of fact, if the motivation is poor, if the welfare condition is poor, they might actually be tempted, to want to, indulge in illicit acts, as a matter of fact. So how would you rate? I know you may actually not be in the best position to rate the welfare, packages that you have for this personnel and the rest of them. But of course, I mean, from whatever you say, I mean, we can actually, go to the bank and say, okay, well, I mean, there is a robust package for this personnel, so they should be motivated enough. So what would you say? I mean, how would you describe the motivation?
Yeah, thank you very much. I said earlier that His Excellency, our executive governor, is supporting the agency to the maximum level, no doubt. Don't forget that when the state minimum wage was passed, I think sometimes last year, the Amotekun agency also benefits from that, which means the least any Amotekun operative receives or earns on monthly basis is same as what the minimum wage in Ogun State is all about. So that is basic. Now there are a lot of other allowances, some already approved and some are still work in progress, which we believe His Excellency will approve. The issue of insurance is part of it too. The insurance in terms of any other injury or death, we don't pay for that. You understand? And when you talk about issue of before now, you see them or you see individuals buying uniforms. But I'm telling you that even before the completion of the 3 weeks training, 2 pairs of uniform each for each operative is ready. When I mean uniform, including all the gadgets, boots, and all that. So, what form of motivation again? So when you don't buy uniform, you don't spend money on what you should be given. That these are very good forms of motivation. When you talk about issue of mobility, they are not posted outside where, for example, they cannot trek because they are placed within their immediate environment. And when they are deployed on official duty, if they are supposed to go there on bike is provided fuel. If it's the motorized vehicles are there, so when you don't pay for mobility, in terms of that bike or vehicle, you don't buy fuel, you don't buy uniform, your salary comes to you as a rent due before the end of the month. Those guys are highly motivated. And when it comes to issue of medical, we have a mini medical where we do checkups and all that. And if any of them has any serious injury, we take it up. So the agency pay is not about you go and take care of yourself. We want to concern us. No. So these are good motivations that any serious-minded individual will want to work, use our life out for the agency.
The program still focused live right here on OGTV, the People's Daily, and yes, we are actually taking a look at Amotekun expansion, Nigeria's real path to state policing. Yes, our state policing can actually, be the model to solve the myriad of security challenges that the nation is bedeviled with. We've got this quick break and we'll come back. The conversation is going to continue. Do not go anywhere.
The exercise led by the commander of the Ogun State Amotekun Corps, Brigadier General Alade Adedigba retired, saw officers move from the State Amotekun Command Headquarters in Okelewo, Abeokuta, through Kuto Garage, Ishabo, Ijaye, Iyano Mortuary, Okejeun, Shapon, Itoku, Enugada, Lafenwa, Sabo, and Ayetoro Road, among other locations. Following
the program still focused live right here on OGTV, the People's Daily, and we still have in the studio Brigadier General Alade Adedigba retired. He is the Corps Commander Amotekun in Ogun State. And we are taking a look at the different the good works really that they've been doing in Amotekun Corps, and of course the expansion of Amotekun Corps, and how these can really be the model, for state police by the time, at the federal level, that approval is given, and of course the law is passed for state police to be operational. You also have the opportunity, as a matter of fact, those of you watching from home, you have the opportunity to be part of the conversation, ask questions. The number for you to call will be there on the screen. In fact, it's there on the screen. Feel free to call us. So whatever clarification you want to make or you need, as a matter of fact, the Corps Commander is here to provide those clarifications. Now, let's take a look at okay, so have you been experiencing any form of abuse of power? Sometimes we get some reports from sister agencies, how they abuse their office, as a matter of fact, in terms of their relations with the citizens, as a matter of fact. Have you been getting any from your personnel, from the public, about your personnel?
Not at all. Whether you like it or not, there are bound to be frictions, that are bad. But in terms of abuse of power, no. What I preach to them is that, one, all of them came up from a home, from a ward, from a village, from a local government. And if you're operating in your local government, you need maximum support, maximum protection of your people. So if you are there to protect your people, why will you not go there and bully them? Why will you go there and harass them? It means you will not have their support. And when you have their support, then you have to do everything in that place. Which is why every time you go around the local government, you go to local government chairman, you visit the KBC and all that. And for them to, and they have good things to say about our operatives, in the field. That, there was this problem, they were there was this problem, before you call them, they respond, there was this problem. So for me, I'm really proud of our coordinators and operatives, operating across the 20 local governments of the state. And again, just because we tell them, these are the people, they are not enemies. So at the moment you don't respect them, the moment you don't cooperate with them, they will not cooperate with you. And who's going to lose? It's you. You lose value. Sure. Do you understand? So for me, it's the work.
And of course, as we all know that, security of our environment is not just the responsibility of the security personnel, not just the responsibility of the police or the Amotekun Corps or even the army. It is the responsibility of each and every one of us. Collaboration between security personnel and the citizens, as a matter of fact. So there is the popular saying that if you see something, say something, call the attention of the Amotekun Corps in your vicinity. I'm sure can you rule out the hotline for Amotekun Corps? So that if anyone has probably an observation or notices some strange movement in their vicinity, probably they can reach the Corps.
Yeah, thank you. Before then, let me just repeat that, jokingly I say, no security agency is a magician. No. Every, security agency rely on information. And it's only the people, who are the grassroots that can pass information. Information are processed to bring out intelligence. And it's that intelligence that will lead, to what we do. And where you can now talk about arresting, hoodlums or, those that want to breach security. So, and that's why we say, when you see something, say something. If something's happening in your area and you didn't say anything, you didn't tell anybody, there's no way you get to know. So it's very important. But for now, you can, we have some numbers that, people at home can actually reach us, so that, and it operates 247. And of course it alerts our CCTV control center too, so that if there's anything, you just will react. And I think those are the numbers on the screen.
Okay, the numbers, okay. Okay, so when these numbers are called, it's the control room that...
Yes, we have the cases, they are 247. So they will respond, they pick the phone, and they will alert whichever location, and do that to respond and attend to whatever the issues that was being reported.
I know way back. When 6-7 years ago, when Amotekun just came on board, I know many people would actually leave Amotekun Corps that's close to them and then want to go to the best police station to make whatever complaint that they want to make and the rest of them. But over time, have you been able to earn of the people that, something is happening, they come to the Amotekun Corps? Because people still feel, if Amotekun Corps, if they are not carrying sophisticated weapons, they cannot be feared or respected. Just as people still will have more respect for the army, with more sophisticated weapons than the police. That does not have as much sophisticated weapon as the army. So have you been able to earn that trust over the years?
Well, I think I should ask you that, because one, we are serving, and we, from the response, we get from the people. That question is just, is to say that the people are the judge themselves. Why am I saying this? When you say 5-6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, what was the spread of Amotekun in Ogun State? And I just told you today that we have 20 local governments, we have coordinators, we have minimum of 3 outposts in each of the local governments. So by and large, We have no less than 90 to 100 Amotekun locations spread across the state.
So there is
so the presence is key. So it's not about weapon, because it's not about the weapon. If you have the weapon and there's somebody to operate the weapon, what happens? So the spread of the agency is key. Which I told you, we are planning for the third recruitment any moment from now. So it means the number of outposts will spread the more. I just told you about the issue of establishment of the CCTV control center in our headquarters, where we monitor about 6 or 7 locations across the state. So what else are you talking about? So with the spread, it shows that except you are not aware, and there is no way you are not aware, because we see our motorbikes patrolling every look and corner of the local government and all that. You see our vehicles at strategic locations. Let me tell you this, from interchange, across that is Lagos Ibadan Express Road, from interchange to Kara, you will see our vehicular bases, about 7 of them on the road. From interchange to Iligari towards Ibadan, you will see our vehicles, about 4 of them. So across that, as we are talking about 11 vehicular bases. From the same interchange towards Ajibandele, which is the boundary between Ogun and Ondo, we have about 6 vehicular bases. Then when you talk about, from the same interchange towards governor's office here, we have about 4 vehicular bases. So it means, and then when you look at from Itoshi towards Sangwater, we have 5 vehicular bases. So these are inlets and outlets into the state. And if all this has been dominated, by static, and mobile vehicular bases, what are you talking about? So it means the spread is there, the awareness is there, and the response time, you understand, can always be enhanced when there are issues. I'm not talking about those within local governments, so I'm just talking along our major road axis. And the government, we are still expecting more vehicles, more motorbikes. The more this we get, the more we spread across the state. And that's why the state is one of the stable states, even among the southwestern states. It's about the deployment, it's about the spread, it's about the awareness, it's about the activity and performance of the operatives. And we're not joking with that. And they are doing their best because they are not being denied anything. Do you understand? And that is the way to go. And also when we now finish with this 1,000 individual recruitment again, what are you talking about? It then means, we do everywhere. And once we are everywhere, it means we have a better, response time in terms of, security.
The program is focused live right here on OGTV. Yes, you sure of course that we're going to call this really.
I think it's one of our activities during the yellow tide. I think it was in December. Normally, yes, we kind of patrol, across, the local government. We also did one interstate. We had one from Lagos, from Bega, the Lagos State, Amotekun, the Togo State, and Oyo State. We did it from Bega up till Ibadan and back. So that is it. We had another one with, from interchange to Ajibandele. That is between Ogun and Ondo. Between Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo. And Oyo did with Osun. So when you look at that, the entire southwest space is being dominated.
And of course, the threat that we were getting at some point in the forest, that has actually, to a very large extent, down. We no longer hear of foreign bodies, trying to make incursion in our forest. Kudos to Amotekun.
Thank you very much. We are not taking it for granted, but the fact is that hear any information, whether it's real, whether it's passive, the moment it's posted and you react, you understand, you can always survive it. As a game, getting something, you can forget about them. It's nonsense. No, just go to bed. Something else can happen. But that is, we are not taking anything for granted.
But how much do you think the average citizen is that conscious and now sensitive to that? Yes, they see something, they ensure. I mean, they're not just they're not just looking, but they are seeing and noticing abnormalities when there exists, and then they are reporting all of these things to you.
Yeah, if you take the awareness has been on the increase. The awareness, an average person, whether in Ogun State or Nigeria, wants to stay alive.
Sure.
Everybody wants to sleep with their eyes closed. So nobody, gone are the days of this is for the police or this is for the army. Now this is for everybody. I think when you see some mass movement, people will call. Even some cabins will call. Some people will call their cabins, some people call their ballet, and the ballet will be sending messages to Amotekun. My people are saying this, my people are saying that. Do you understand? It will tell you the consciousness, the awareness of an average individual in wanting his or her environment, the immediate environment, to be safe. So we're having that response. We're having a lot of interaction, calling and all that to tell us something happens to place. Can you please go there? And each time you go there, I will be there. No, this is not the way you take it. Money, thank you. It's not better for you to tell us than to keep quiet and assume. But at the end of the day, when you assume, it becomes a problem to everybody.
Now, you have actually told us earlier on how, your core, your network, is actually bringing technology in the fight against insecurity. As a matter of fact, how much of how much of technology, how much of technology really are you open to also bring in to aid your smooth operation?
You see, there's no limit to the level or degree of technology any security agency can bring to bear. Don't forget it has to do with the issue of resources, because these things are expensive. But don't forget again about I think last Thursday when the president said instead of Plateau State, he directed the Minister for Communication was part of his team, and he directed them to install about 5,000 CCTV camera across the. But this is what Ogun State did about 2 months ago. Do you understand? So what am I saying is that there's no limit. We at our own level, we set up our own CCTV control room about less than 2 months ago. This was commissioned by His Excellency representative. Do you understand? So if that our modest, achievement or contribution can be that, and now we expend more on that, it means our place will become safer and better off. So there's no limit to how much technology we can do.
Okay, hello, quickly, let's, because time is not on our side. Good afternoon. Let's take your, okay, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you coming from? Hello, we can hear you. What's your name and where are you coming from? Yes, what's your name and where are you coming from?
I'm calling
Itoko. Okay, so what's your name?
Hello,
we can hear you.
I'm calling from Ilugbo.
Okay, so why?
Wali Alabi is my name.
Okay.
Wali Alabi is my name.
Wali Alabi from Ilugbo. Okay, so go ahead with your submission.
I want to say to Amotekun, they are saying very things. I really appreciate the work of Amotekun. But as we are here, I don't know whether an officer and secretary that some officers that want to disengage from Amotekun to another place. Is it true?
Okay, we will respond to that. I'm sure you got your question. We will respond to that. Thank you so much, Wale. Thank you so much. Okay, so because time is not on our side, let's get your response to that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Wale Alabi. Thanks for your interest. But the question for me, I think I'm just hearing this. I just told you that the governor has just approved the request another 1,000 personnel. And that's to tell you that Amotekun is going places, Amotekun is expanding. But however, there could be one or two individuals, maybe for whatever personal or medical reasons they want to disengage, you don't have control over that. But as in disengaging and going to another place, that we are not aware of. But thank you for that information.
And of course, we also noted you said he's enjoying you even in the where he is. So that's a positive feedback.
We appreciate him.
Unfortunately, other calls are coming in, but we will not be able to take the calls because of time. So, just in 30 seconds, where do you see Amotekun in the next 5 years?
If Amotekun is going to remain the next 5 years, like I told you, some 5 years ago, Amotekun was not where Amotekun is now. And they were just talking about the issue of state policing. And I tell you what, our government are doing at this level. The subnationals, what they are doing basically right now is state policing. It's just a matter of, restructuring it, given it that national outlook in terms of policy, in terms of structure, and all that training, remuneration and all that. I want to believe that is done, and that federal, outlook and backing is there. It means before you realize it, we'll be there. Thank you.
Well, more calls are coming in, but we will not be able to take them as a matter of fact because of our time. We want to thank you sincerely for your time with us this afternoon. Of course, we've been looking at Amotekun core, how effective it has been, the contributions, and how we can actually achieve complete security. Yes, but it may not be complete, but of course reducing security to its best minimum. And how state policing can help us achieve that. We've been speaking with Brigadier General Alade Adedigba, retired, who is the co-commander of Amotekun Network, Security Network in Lagos State. Thank you so much for your time with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
And we also thank you so much for watching the program, Focus Live, Diary Size, for this week. Next week we're going to be back again with another edition of the program. I remain Dominic Agbea. Enjoy the rest of your day.